Hello everybody, I hope you are well. In today's video we look at a fundamental of martial arts, balance. So today we're going to look at the theories of proprioception and kinesthesia. Now proprioception is the way that your body perceives itself in space. So if you close your eyes, it's the way you can sense and feel where you are, and the feedback your body gets from your nervous system that allows you to basically stay upright. So within each muscle there are little sensors, and they measure the amount of stretch and contraction that goes on, and that feeds back to your nervous system, and it allows you to stay stable and make all those micro adjustments. If you've ever tried closing your eyes, you'll notice how much more difficult it is to keep your balance and stay stable, because you're missing an entire set of signals from the horizon line and that your eyes give you. Now kinesthesia is more about your body's movement and how your nervous system monitors and records that. So for example, in something like martial arts or sports, if you're doing an exercise or you're doing a movement, a technique, hitting a golf ball, whatever it is, your body will get the feedback from those movements and it will record them. And of course, over time, your body and your nervous system will record which of these movements were the most efficient, and that allows you to increase your skill level. So we can go through some basics of how you can do some self-monitoring and assess where you are with your own structure and your own balance. And then we'll do some simple drills to help you improve your own balance, no matter what your skill level. And the interesting thing about balance is it's something you can improve yourself very, very easily. And by improving your balance overall, you can improve everything you do, not just your martial arts practice. This is only a short video, so watch through to the end. We're going to be using the balance board as a training method, and I'll give you some instructions on how you can make one yourself. It's pretty straightforward. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your support and enjoy the clip. So to start off, you've got to try and find your own natural posture, where you're balanced. Now we all walk around every day and we don't fall over, but true balance should be without any stress in the body. Now there's no correct way of demonstrating this really. There's lots of different methodologies, but everybody's body is different. Everyone, especially as you get older, there's little things, little inconsistencies in your body that will affect your balance. Not going into this in too much detail, if you stand up straight, release your knees slightly. First off, start with your feet. Your feet should be soft and flat on the floor, and you should feel your feet being compressed into the floor with the weight being distributed evenly. Modern people tend to pronate, so our knees will drop in and our insteps will collapse, and that's because obviously we wear incorrect shoes a lot of the time. So just be aware of that. Make sure your feet are spread. Your feet should be about shoulder width apart, and just release your knees slightly. When we're walking, when we're standing around, we tend to be lazy, we lock our legs out, which is okay, but you're actually, if you feel that, you're actually putting your weight forwards into your toes, and that adds stress onto the rest of your body. So just let it settle. So starting from the head down, your ears should be over your shoulders should be over your hips, and then your hips over your feet. And that way you're stacked up like a nice pile of bricks, and there shouldn't be anything in your body that's having to work harder than anything else. It should be a natural stacking of your body. And you should be able to relax. And it's worth trying this as an exercise just to find out what your own body feels like when it's perfectly balanced and relaxed. So if you just soften the muscles on your face, including your jaw and your eyelids, let your shoulders drop. If you can, let your shoulders and your shoulder blades drop backwards into the small of your back. We always tend to have a bit of a push forward, so just try and tilt your pelvis underneath slightly and just let it relax. Release your knees, don't actually bend your legs if you can help it. Just release your knees and then kind of sit on the edge of an imaginary table almost, and you stack yourself up over the base of your feet. And you should feel yourself just naturally stacked, and then just monitor. Now if you close your eyes, it makes it slightly harder. You can now feel if there's anything going on. So I always feel my right foot is always slightly more tense. A while ago I had a bit of an Achilles accident, and that puts quite a lot of stress on that side of my body. And even though it was a few years back now, it still affects my overall structure. So most of you will have something that causes your body to have a bias one side or another. That's something you have to get used to. So the idea of proprioception is largely a subconscious awareness of where you are. If we spent all day thinking about, or I'm here, and it would overwhelm us. So it's something that your body naturally does, and the sensors in your muscles just tell you where you are in time and space. But it can be improved. Now, if you want to ease yourself into balance training, especially if you're coming back from an injury or you've had problems with something, a soft pillow or a piece of foam or just something that's a bit uneven, feet apart, and now try and keep the upper part of your body independent and move your feet and your base around and try and stay stable. And it just trains your nervous system to get used to all these micro adjustments your feet and your legs and your knees and your hips will make to allow you to stay on balance. And then you can move that up to feet together, which is much more difficult as you're shortening your base. And the same thing, try and keep your head and your shoulders level and just move around on your base. Stop laughing. And you can develop this, obviously you can move on the spot, you can run, but just try and keep the top of your body in balance, whichever movements you're making. This looks simple, but if you're coming back from an injury, it's a great way of easing yourself in. So, the balance board, we've made a load of these. The kids love playing with this in the juniors class, but it's a very, very useful tool. It's just 12mm ply, cut it to shape. These little blocks at either end stop you skidding off into space. And then any hardware store, 150mm sewage pipe or guttering pipe, and the important bit is the grip tape. Very, very simple to make. These are about 25 bucks New Zealand, which is what, 15 bucks US to make. So highly recommend that you get some of these for your dojo because they're very, very useful. Halfway up. Now the training with this is to keep your posture and keep your structure and try and make small micro movements. The tendency is to over adjust. So I'm trying to sense the space kind of in between my knees, keep it soft and just make small micro adjustments with my feet and my hips, and try and keep the top half of my body stacked as nicely as I can. Now I know my right foot is overcompensating because of that tight Achilles. I've got a bit of a spinal thing going on and I've got a tight shoulder, so all of this comes into play. I couldn't do this for more than a couple of seconds when I first tried, so this is something you can definitely get better at in time. Have a play with this. I'd like to see some videos of everybody having a go. It's worth looking at it from this point of view because I think we tend to take being on balance just for granted. Kazushi, taking someone else's balance, is an integral part of all martial arts. And obviously, if we can understand how our own biomechanical system works, how our own balance system works and the feedback involved, it'll help us better understand how we interact with other people and take their balance. Have fun playing with it.